Go out the way just to help my position.
Out this world,
go out the way just to help my position. When I was broke, I just knew I would get it. That hate shit you want ain't no good for my spirit. It is what it is, I got tired of forgiving. Mouth full of ghost crackers smiling and glisten. Out with the old, my phone jumping this Wednesday. Knew I was special, just needed a listen. Lift up a latch and detaching the ceiling. Super Dushani, the motherfucking greatest. This my new rental, don't care, I drag racing. In your apartment, I'm popping the latest. Started finessing, so that's how we played it. Stepped envelopes, got it right on my brothers. No competition, we shine with each other. So many nights had my mind in the gutter. Mama told me like, boy, keep it together. Link with a big booty freak, it's whatever. Bet like a ring, we ain't cutting, we wrestle. Call my connect, need a package of pressure. Mind on my money, you know how I'm stepping. Take your advice, but I really ain't need it. You in my presence, 1K, how you keep it? Act like a star so they don't treat me basic. Bills late, niggas start getting creative. Go out the way just to help my position. When I was broke, I just knew I would get it. That hate shit you want ain't no good for my spirit. It is what it is, I got tired of forgiving. Mouth full of ghost crackers smiling and glisten. Out with the old, my phone jumping this Wednesday. Knew I was special, just needed a listen. Lift up a latch and detaching the ceiling. Super Dushani, the motherfucking greatest. This my new rental, don't care, I drag racing. In your apartment, I'm popping the latest. Started finessing, so that's how we played it. I'm detaching the ceiling. I'm full of gold while it's shining and glisten. Talking my language, that's tired of forgiving. Mouth full of ghost crackers smiling and glisten. Oh.
Yeah, all that shit. They say.
Big motherfucking Silk, man. What's goody?
What it do, man? I got my girl Jess up in there, man. She gonna be holding it down for the night, filling in for me.
Okay.
So you got your female on the cast, dog. You know, got your female point of view.
Overstood, man.
For what it's worth. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. That is fucked up.
I ain't hear that last part. My bad. I ain't hear that last part. What happened?
No, you good. Well, what we waiting on? How many people? What's the topic tonight? What we on? What's the lineup?
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I caught the flu. I've been having the flu the past 2 days. So,
shit.
I've been having the flu the last 2 days. So tonight I really don't want to do too much talking. My throat's still kind of a little fucked up. So I'm
right.
Really
Well,
my bad. You got it.
No, let the people carry it. I see you gonna be chilling tonight, huh? Hey, you falling back tonight a little bit.
Yeah, I got a little. I still got the flu a little bit, but I don't wanna leave the people starving. You feel me?
Overstood. I already know, man. You gotta take care of your fans. Overstood. I already know, man. You gotta take care of your fans.
Like a motherfucker. Everything good though, man. I see my boy just getting off of work.
Yeah, we gravy.
I gotta ask a question. This both any of y'all can answer. It don't matter. I gotta ask a question.
What?
How y'all feel about this P Diddy shit, man? We gotta get into this goddamn P Diddy.
Diddy been on that. Diddy been on that shit. You talking about Diddy being on that gay shit?
Man, really, I'll say everything. The Diddy, the Cassie, man, we could jump at this from any angle. You feel me? I just sent the link out to the gang, so the gang should be pulling up real soon. But yeah, we're gonna start off. I want to start off with the Diddy Silk. How you feel about How you feel about P Diddy? Do you feel like Silky D, you there?
Y'all listening?
Do you think P Diddy is Rainbow Gang?
Diddy been Rainbow Gang. Unfortunately, that's probably why them making the band niggas ain't come back. They was like, fuck that, we ain't about to let Diddy rape us again. Like, we got our album, we got our song, and we ain't fucking with it no more. Yeah, nah, Diddy been on that gay shit. He got that one song where him and Usher.
Hey, Silk, just say Rainbow Gang. Just say Rainbow
Right.
Gang.
Yeah, cause they flag eyes. Yeah, there you go. What the fuck did I just do with this cigar? I just gotta get the motherfucker.
You said Diddy been Rainbow Gang?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately.
Was this surprising? Was this surprising to you that P Diddy settled less than 48 hours after Cassie filed a lawsuit? Did it surprise you?
Oh, Cat, what she filed a lawsuit for?
Saying that he's sexual assaulted her, sexual assault, great. Basically said like he made her do a whole bunch of things that she didn't want to do.
It was considered trafficking because of the fact that it was in different states throughout the United States that
what he was fucking us all over the place.
He would have her fuck some guys and he would sit there and watch.
Oh,
like he would order her.
So he got her to bring the niggas in so he could watch the niggas get naked. Boy, Diddy a motherfucking fool, dog. He got a bad bitch, not for him, but for the niggas that he trying to look at. This nigga Diddy.
Hey, Suki D. She said Diddy told her go find the my bad. I was about to say BBWs. The BBC.
Yeah. Cause he want to look at some big meat. They said cause he slipped up and said him and Trey Songz. Was it Trey Songz? No, Usher. He said him and Usher was sleeping together. Like for sleeping together, opposed to like when Kevin Hart and I guess P. Diddy was on that shit and he slipped up and was like, motherfucking Usher, my brother for life. And when he wake up and all that other like basically like nigga, we cuddling all night. Basically, like I done woke up next to this nigga. Basically, he talking like, yeah, dog, all that shit. Kevin Hart was like, did y'all just hear what Diddy just said? Did he just fucking say that? And all that shit. Yeah, man, he just coming out the closet with that shit. But he kind of been on it, I think. That
nigga Diddy said they was fighting for Frosted Flakes in the morning.
Yeah, that's the one. With Usher. Yeah, so he know what this nigga eat for breakfast. He know what this nigga do when he wake up.
He said Usher was 10 years old and he was a couple years older, but
no, he was older. Yeah, he was fucking him when he was young.
Hold up, from the story, it sounded like Diddy was staying by himself, so he had to be grown. And why would a parent let an underage kid like Usher go stay with another grown man?
You gotta remember, nigga. Aaliyah parents let Aaliyah go with R. Kelly. And she was underage. Like she was like fucking 14 when she left with that nigga when they let her go. So don't get it, you know what I'm saying? You know these motherfuckers don't be giving a fuck. And then she had all the niggas was running through it. Jay-Z was running through Aaliyah, Dame Dash, shit. All them niggas was having their way with her. Cause she was young and ain't no shit. Probably the same with Usher. You know, they probably got a nigga in the up in that one of them rooms, hit him with that motherfucking drug, and served him up. And well, now you here, now you gay. Now you got to get it every weekend type shit. Yeah, once you fuck around in Hollywood, them niggas is shit. They got that drug that's gonna knock you out for real. Then when you wake up, they show you that video, everything they motherfucking did to your ass.
Wow.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
great.
Oh yeah, then say talk if you want. Oh, this video gonna be everywhere. We're gonna send it to your mama, your dad. We're gonna send this video all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's a dirty game.
Yeah, I think letting your son go stay with Diddy, I think that's a problem. Letting your kid go stay with a grown man, even if
That's
it's for
called character development. Extra emphasis on the development.
Nah, for real, man. It's called pimping out your goddamn kid, man. It comes
Oh
a
yeah.
point of time, and this is what we learning. This is what we learning in today's age. We learning that in the 90s and in the 80s, motherfuckers was dating younger women, even if they was 10 years older than them. And we learning that motherfuckers ain't care, or motherfuckers ain't even like it was normal.
Well, that started with Elvis. That started with Buddy Holly. That started with Lambamba. You know what I'm
That's why
saying?
you on the fucking channel, Silk. That's why you on
That
this
started,
fucking channel.
yeah, they've been
Hey, hold up,
it's
Silk,
cool with that shit.
hold up, Silk. In my head, anytime a motherfucker bring up R. Kelly, I'm like, hold up, what about Elvis Presley?
Yeah, because he was the first. Them niggas was getting girls straight out of high school.
So
Like they were.
hold up. So look, it's not me saying, well, it's not me saying R. Kelly is more writer than Elvis Presley. It's more so as saying like in those times, these niggas would get girls 14 and 15, and the society, not
Cool with it.
just a family, the society.
That's true.
Well, because you know what that is. That's because they try to chalk it that well in those circumstances. That's when they claim it's a once in a lifetime chance. Oh, you got to take it. How many times in your life are you going to be offered to go off with a superstar? So it's a once in a lifetime chance. So that's why they was like supposedly cool with the shit, like, because that ain't really never, I guess, gonna happen in life. So they almost saying it like you got to run with it because it would never happen in life anyways. So if the opportunity do come about, you got to damn almost guarantee take it.
But you're correct. It is a society thing because they're still fighting underage marriage in some states. There's certain agencies that are trying to fight for kids because in certain religions and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen like that sect in Texas, you know, where they had all the they took all the kids, CPS took all the kids and buses and shit because they were marrying off young girls. That cult to that man. Yeah, they married to a fucking third. That's a baby.
Kids, and he got all the girls bringing kids.
Exactly.
And they go off to this nigga ranch, and he just gets to banging a bunch of kids.
Exactly.
Left and right. Bunch of little girls. He cutting, tearing down.
So, but here's the fucked up part is that it's legal in some states. That's why there's organizations trying to fight underage child marriage. And it's not just here in America. You see this type of shit in India and Arab countries and
Muslim.
You know,
and
exactly.
Mexico too though. Mexico,
yeah.
13, what they marrying them girls at fucking them motherfuckers be young as shit when them niggas be hooking up with them girls. That's why old ass Mexican man with a fine ass young Mexican girl, and he been banging this girl her whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like the shit that they did back then. Motherfuckers couldn't even try that shit now.
Shit, no, they still trying. They still pulling it out. They still doing it. Cause it's like it's a taboo type shit. Like it's I guess it's like selling drugs down here. It's legal on a down low. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on a legal, it's a down low tip affair because all great men of power always want a younger female. Like that just come with the perks of motherfucking being motherfucking big paid and bossy and shit. Like that's why the
But see,
motherfuckers.
the question comes in: how young though? If young is 14 when you 21, then that's a problem.
Yeah, well they looking at it like they're also looking at it
But
like
I'm gonna
a,
tell
a
you,
biological
I'm gonna
standpoint.
tell you, usually a woman's brain supposedly is about 5 years more mature. Women are like 5 years more mature than the men that are their age.
It's not
For
really
example,
about
if
that.
it's two 30-year-olds, the woman, right, is like 35, is a little bit more advanced in certain things, but I think that has to do with the nurturing shit that we have
Nah,
to do.
you're missing it. It's not
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
not. I don't think that's scientific.
Let
But
me
I
break it
heard.
down to you. It's about the biology of the female. Is they're better off for giving birth at a younger age. Period. You know what I'm saying? The younger the age, the better they are off at. Well, at least at the puberty, they're better off giving birth, and that's what they're saying when they be like they don't want older women because it's more of a higher. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more risque,
Now
and if you
look,
was to do it with a younger female, she's just more capable of pulling of doing it because those are her prime time years to
now
give
look,
birth.
now look. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. If I'm Sicky D, if we 40, if we 30, if we 50,
I know,
and
right? Looking at some
we want
motherfucking 13-year-old. What the fuck?
and we want us a 21, 22, 25 year old, and we 40 years old, and we 50 years old, and we want a 22, 25 year old, 21-year old. It's a little weird, but I understand it because of the shit
Every,
that you just said.
every
But
great man in
You know
civilization.
what? But it's not always.
hold up. But we talking about a nigga in his 20s or a nigga in his 30s, 40s, 50s wanting a teenager,
You silly.
wanting 13, 14, 15 in your 20s.
Them niggas is trying to. I mean, because they're more like they're
That's
more
manipulation.
moldable.
That's manipulation. Like even if the
Well,
girl is 14 or
They're
17.
predators. The word is predators. They're predators,
the
and
female's supposed to serve the man first and foremost, but they're gonna. She's not like an older female is gonna kind of already be molded. She's gonna already
Hey,
like.
Silk, you off topic, man. Let her talk.
I'm trying. All right, go ahead. It's just, I'm trying to tell you, nigga. Like,
No, because
it's big.
you keep mentioning older women. I'm talking about teenagers only. Like even if a
I'm getting
nigga,
to it, nigga.
even if you gotta understand what you mean, you giving them an outlet by saying that. Oh, even I know you're not playing devil's advocate at all, but by you saying older women, imagine if a 40-year-old go for a 23-year-old instead of a 14-year-old.
The traditional marriage is still with a virgin.
That kills your old man argument for real.
They want
it's.
a
I
female to
think
be a virgin, nigga.
whenever it's under the age of 18, it's usually sometimes over the age of 18 too. But you know the fucked up part is when it's a kid, right? I think if they're in their 20s and you're deciding, you're choosing, that's different. than someone preying on someone a kid whose brain isn't developed. So you're right. You know, there is a sense of manipulation involved, but the main term to be used, that's predatory behavior. They're predators, and these little kids are prey. But I'm gonna tell you, it's not always that circumstance too, because I know when I was in my 20s, right? I got with a man that was about 38, right? So a good, what, 15, 16. Honestly, I enjoyed my relationship with him
Because he was mature.
because I wasn't dealing with bullshit little kid type shit. I was dealing with a man. He was a man in every sense of the way, responsible, you know.
Let me get in here. So what she's
Hold
telling you is,
hold up, Silk. Hey, Silk, I just want to say this. You're not wrong in what you're saying. You just off topic.
I know I'm giving you the topic, and you just don't be catching. I'm painting a picture, so just sit back. So now how this whole thing goes. So let's talk about traditional marriage and the whole we want a virgin, which is the traditional shit. But now see, when you're talking like, and I gotta go back, as you get older, you're gonna get more baggage, you're gonna go through more trauma, you're just gonna be dealing with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna make it worser for you, worser for the man later in time, because you're already bringing in a whole lot of extra baggage. So that's why they be trying to root for the young, because there will be zero baggage. Now the whole end game for a female is to be a wife, to have a man take care of her, and she be financial, all that good shit. You know all that fucking candy cane shit. Okay, so that's what the goal is for a female to do.
That's a fucking lie. That's not a goal for a female, because my relationship with that man actually ended because he was cheating. I could have stayed, and my mom even called me stupid, right? My mom called me because she was like, because he had his own business, he had everything, but to me what was important was faithfulness. It doesn't matter that you take care of everything. At least that's my point. At least I'm that anger type. Like I can't just turn the cheek, and I gotta be innocent and this and that. That leads me shit. If you can cheat, then I can cheat. Right?
But he's taking
but you don't like that.
But he's taking care of everything now.
Let me guide the conversation. Both of y'all are right. Silky D talking about women in general, and you just gave us your opinion of yourself. You just gave us your word.
Right. Let me keep going. Sit back, Wavy. Let me do this. I got you. So,
but that's not I just want to clear up. I'm sorry, I disagree. That's not the goal for a lot of people. To be a wife is not enough. What the fuck is a wife if there's no a marriage? If there's no fucking commitment?
You're supposed to be a wife to a good man, but still,
but if there's no commitment,
we putting a horse before. We putting a buggy before the horse. You only get married to somebody if you feel like they got all of those. They got all those boxes checked. You feel me?
Well, first you gotta be like, you gotta get that. It's niggas that give out the rings. We get the rings out. They can't get that without us.
I think that
they only got the pussy, but we got the man. We the ones that hold the gate to that.
I think that's based on perspective, right? Everybody's perspective of what they want is different, right? So we can't label everyone. It's generalizing. It's a stereotype. We're fitting everyone, and there's different things, and I simply just disagreed because not everyone just wants a man with a business and yes, living comfortably, living good. But what's the point of that when you're going fucking nuts? Like, if this nigga comes home late.
So why was marriage even started? What was the point of marriage even started? What was the point of marriage?
We can get into that real talk, because I know, yeah, we can get into that.
That's where we got to go at
So
first. We got to
What
They
was
go
it?
at
came
What?
the
out with
origin,
marriage.
the
They
the
they
origins
came
of it.
out with
You feel
marriage
me? Because
out
Hey,
here.
what the hell?
real
What
quick,
the
real
hell
quick.
we feel
Before
right
before
now?
we, hey, Bo, before we answer that question, she disagreed. She disagreed with something that Silky D said. So
I'm about to give it a breakdown
let's get
on
some
that.
clarity. Let's get some clarity for her from her real quick. Now, she said that getting married is not one of the female's main goals. You disagree with Silky D when he said that?
Huh?
She
Yeah, she
said
said
that.
that. She said
All right. So
that.
what would be the main goal for a female if getting married is not that?
Well, why they be saying put a ring on? That'd be the number one thing a female say. When we gonna get married? When you gonna put a ring on? Cause y'all want that
But let me
title. It don't matter
That's
if
let me
it don't matter if a nigga go extra and beyond and do more than a
you
motherfucking
know what? I
obligated
completely
husband
disagree.
with
I
the binary
disagree.
contract.
I
all
disagree
right.
oh
All right.
so
Listen.
because
I ain't speaking. I
I've
ain't
been
All right.
speaking
Hold on.
as
Hold on.
engaged.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We about to listen to you, but just give us your main goal. Then, if you're gonna disagree, give us what you think a female main goal when getting with a nigga or living life with a nigga. If it's not marriage, what is it? Give me
no,
a
what is the female's
No,
main
no, no, no,
goal?
no.
Period.
No, it's here's the thing. It's not just marriage because there's a part. Let me give you an example, right? A couple years ago, I was engaged to my best friend, right? That I'd known since I was like 15 years old, and we were friends for years. Never messed around. We met later on in life, right? And we started dating. He told me I've had a crush on you since, for years,
Try
blah,
not
blah,
to
blah.
run around. Tell us
Okay,
what it
the
is.
point here is, right? He proposed, right? And I told him, let's just let it play out, right?
Answer the question. What is the main goal?
What is the main goal
What is the main goal?
I think
of a
she
woman? To be
I think
successful, to be
hey,
independent,
I help you out.
to
I help you out.
that
I help
that's
you out.
the goal,
I help
to
you
have
out.
a good
I help you out.
life, right?
I help you out. We
To
having
do
we
good
having
things.
two different conversations again. That's why I didn't want to gloss over that point because we having two different conversations again. Now, just to make sure we are having the same conversation, I think she agree with us. She just talking about some side effects of that. You feel me? We having a now, Bo, go ask your question again, Bo.
oh shit. I was just oh my question is like what was the point of marriage period in the beginning
Okay,
of time? What the
I
origins
got it.
of
I
marriage?
got an answer for that. So the answer for the reason that they got marriage in the Western hemisphere, because
Nah,
all
I
the
ain't
rest,
talking about the Western Hemisphere. It ain't originated in the Western Hemisphere.
well, but the reason they got the marriage out
The
here
Western
now
Hem hold
is
on. The Westernized, see, this is what we bought up on. We bought up on Westernized. We
I'm just
bought up
checking.
on Westernized everything. You feel
Yeah,
me?
that's what we're dealing with. I'm about to tell them
So,
though.
like, I ain't talking about the Westernized. See, when we talk
I'm
about
about to
Westernized,
okay.
that's just what we bought on. It's just like with the evolution shit. When motherfucker was like, well, shit, you're a fish man. And all
Nah,
that
stay on
dumbass shit.
topic.
You
Stay on
feel
top.
me?
Nah, stay on topic. So what it
Nah,
is
it is on topic. I just got a different scenario. Just cause you got a
forget the
different scenario don't
scenario.
mean
Just
you out topic. That shit the
get a
same
fact.
thing, bro.
The reason why, the
I'm talking
real
about the
answer
origins of
is,
the shit.
no, I'm about to tell you the reason why we got why the marriages are for our country and domestic and out.
Man, that shit was the binary.
Overseas.
That shit was the form of alliance, man. That shit was to make family strong.
Exactly.
That's what that
So
shit was for. So
the
when
multiple
a bitch be
wives.
talking about getting married and all that shit, I ask you,
No,
what the fuck can you offer me? What would I gain from marrying you? Will my family
well,
be stronger? Will my lineage or whatever the fuck that shit is, will that shit be greater? Or will I
it's
have even
supposed to
more
be.
goddamn problems?
You're supposed to have an empire. You can't. That's
Hey,
why they got
Silk.
to
Hey,
single
Silk.
marriages.
Silk. Silk. don't put the onus on yourself to feel like you got to answer all these questions.
I'm just giving you the answer.
Look, in reality, we start talking past each other. So don't put the onus on yourself to feel like you got to answer all these questions. You could agree
I'm
with the
not.
nigga. You could agree with
I'm
the
giving
nigga.
you the answer, nigga.
All right.
The answer is, dog, like what he said. When you got multiple wives, you're able to build an empire. That's how empires are built, because it's a whole network of people working for one cause. That's why in all them other countries, them niggas got multiple wives. 'Cause they got them chicks doing every motherfucking thing. Out here, you got motherfucking marriage, and then you only allowed to have one wife. And then if you do that shit, you get penalized, divorce, and a whole lot of other shit that they, what I'm saying, throw in the pot. But the whole thing down here is to stop us from building an empire. That's the whole point of it. So we don't get strong. But if we was able to have multiples like that and stuff, we would have an empire. We would have, what I'm saying, everybody would have a major team. But that ain't how the culture is. So that's the answer. At least what I got.
All right. So Bo, you got another question?
Oh no, that was just that wasn't even no question. Like
Yeah, I already know. That's
that
why
wasn't
that's
no
why I
question. Like
said.
I was confounded. That was a question for the confounded.
Yeah, that's why I said don't. That's why I said don't feel like you got to answer all them goddamn questions because really you gonna agree with them.
See, Silky, your problem be when you be too excited. I was like that too. Like I'm still like that. That's why if you notice, like these last times we've been on here, I ain't really been talking like that because I be too damn excited. I can't goddamn, and I want to keep going. You feel me? And I want to shut everybody else out and I want to make sure I be fucking heard. You feel me? Because I'm excited that I done learned some shit or I know some shit, and I want to teach my fellow brethren. You feel me? We got to realize, we got to just catch ourselves when we doing that shit. You feel me? I do that shit a lot, and I still ain't broke that shit, but I just be trying to be quiet as much as possible because I know this shit excite the hell out of me.
I was just giving a fact. I'm giving you the definitions behind this shit. Like when we
You
do
ain't
talk
wrong.
about this shit, I would appreciate it if y'all would at least come with some definitions behind the shit when you talk about the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know you know what you're talking about. When you've been able to drop me the definitions of the words that you're using behind it. Like I said, you want to know where the whole marriage thing came from. Bet, get that definition, give where it comes from, get the origin, and then we carry on. But do y'all shit.
Nah, Silk, you could talk as much as you goddamn want to. The main point is let's just to keep the conversation a conversation and not, you know what I'm saying, back and forth. Let's understand what each other's saying and not talk past each other. That's the only thing. Once we start talking past each other, know what I'm saying, and then the conversation ain't really there. Now, Silky D, I gotta get your opinion on this. I gotta get your opinion on this, Silk.
Break it up.
How many is there a number? Is there a number on the amount of wives that you feel like we were designed to have, or you feel like that we need to have? Is there a
Hold
number?
on, I'm gonna shoot out and come right back. Hold on.
All right. Man, Rambo Yappa Chopper, man, I've been fucked up, man. Last 2 days, man. I'm trying to shake back. Know what I'm talking about?
You all right, man? What's going on?
Man, that goddamn, I think I got the flu, man.
It might not.
All I remember,
I don't think it's the flu. It might be just that little bug going around.
hey, all I remember, bro, I'm at the club. One of my old heads pull out a little bitty blunt, a little bitty
The
doobie.
skeeter leg.
mosquito leg. You smoking the blunt, know what I'm saying? Everything go good the rest of that night. I wake up in the morning, I got a sore throat, then a sore throat and a stuffy nose.
Oh Lord, how much?
Then the next day, I got a fever and body chills. So I knew it wasn't a blunt. So I felt I'm under the weather. But yes, hey, Silky D, you got my question?
What you were saying? Something about a number? How many?
Yeah, my bad. I was saying, you were speaking about polygamy, about us having multiple wives, you know what I'm saying, to build an empire. Do you feel like there is a number of wives that we need to have to build this empire, a number of wives designed to have?
I would say, what they got? What, 10, 7? I mean, that's a lot of work, though, but it depends on, I mean, but if everybody pulling major weight,
Man, you said 10?
no,
Woo!
it depends on how big
Them
you is.
motherfucker better be. Them 10 motherfucker better be obedient as a motherfucker.
No, man, I mean,
I
if you
can't
got
deal with
the
that many
10
damn people. I
motherfuckers,
can barely deal with the one I got. You talking about 10? And
you
they ain't
might
even
be,
married.
you might be doing a lot of traveling. Who knows?
Everybody ain't shawty low.
You
I'm
suck.
trying to tell you, man. Everybody ain't
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
Everybody
be
ain't
thank
damn
shawty
shorty
you.
low.
low.
Mm-hmm.
Sicky D, come on, man. Give me another number. Be realistic for the viewers and for us, nigga. I'm trying to ride
I
with
guess if you really want, it depends on how strong you want to be. But I mean, if you really growing, but if you start growing an empire, you know, what I mean, if you build it, they will come and shit. It don't take nothing to get a hive going.
you. What's a solid number? What's a solid number you feel will get um you feel that you need at least to have?
Oh shit! What is it? Keep by 10. Keep $1 worth.
Yeah, man, you tripping, man.
I
Man,
disagree. I
that
disagree
nigga
with
tripping
that
like big
being
shoes,
something
man.
good for
What? I mean, what a
society.
hot 3, 2?
Hold up, Silk. Hold up, Silk. Let her talk. Let her talk.
Yeah.
I disagree because if the purpose of building an empire, right? So let's say who's this guy?
Do you got a
Who's
do you
that?
got a
Nick
number?
Cannon.
Do
Nick
you got a number
Cannon
for
that
the
got like
real,
a
real quick,
fucking
real quick?
football team,
Do you
right?
got a number?
With all these beautiful ass bitches. He even got Mariah Carey on the list,
Them
right?
hoes ain't together.
Mariah Carey and a whole
Hey,
bunch
real
of
quick. Real,
models and this
real
and that got about fucking 10 kids, right? And he's not active in all of their lives because you're supposed to parent, right? And you need to have time. So the more fucking kids you have, the less time you can give them. Like in his case, right? He's neglecting, he's not seeing, he's involved with some of his kids,
Them kids are
not
straight.
all of his
Them
kids.
kids are
Hey, real
straight.
quick, real quick,
Or
real
let's
quick.
say Future, right? Like everybody was talking about, Sierra became
Hey,
another
Silk.
one of his baby
Hey,
mamas,
Silk.
right?
Hey, Silk.
Yo,
You
Let me
still be
say
tapping,
something real
huh?
quick. Let me say something real quick. We having two different conversations.
I ain't even
We
saying
having
that.
two totally different conversations. What you are
I'm
disagreeing
just
with.
I'm just trying to say that when y'all over here
Oh,
painting
it's
this
still in
like
phone.
picturesque, oh, it's to
That's why
build
that's
an
what
empire and power and this
I'm
and
about to
this
get
and
this
that.
on.
It's not just about that. It's about being
Yeah.
able to give
That's
your
my
kids
nigga when Jigga
experiences.
on the type to
You know, it's not just
get a
having
beat
them and
and I
oh,
still smash on
you
shit.
know,
All right,
right?
so let me
So
ask you this. So let me
I
ask you this.
disagree with that because the more people there is, the more responsibility there is, right?
So you think anybody on this panel would disagree with what you just said? That's what I mean by
Of
we having two
course,
different conversations.
of course.
We having two
Because
different
I'm
conversations.
talking to males that from the get go try to say, oh, for what a woman's point is worth, right?
So I'm gonna ask.
So
Do you think
yes, I
anybody on this panel?
absolutely. I don't know if this what they call hotep, the woman haters, the ones that hate women,
Hoteps.
No, from
right?
what
And
you
think that women should be fucking servants and shit. Women are like trash, right?
did
Is this
you
like a hotep type
did you
shit?
Well,
did you
apparently
hear?
the
Did
woman
you
trying
hold
to
up?
drop
Sicky D,
their
Sicky
baby.
D, hold up. Did you hear somebody on the panel say that?
Nah, yeah, no.
I'm just
Because
hold
from
up,
the
hold up,
get
hold
go,
up.
look, from the get go,
Let me
he
tell
said for whatever a woman's point of view is worth. So it doesn't matter what you say, right? It doesn't matter if you're educated, if you actually read, if you have like all this, right?
What's your
It,
name?
it
What's your name?
it's
What's your name?
it's already
Sicky
demigrating a woman. Like women don't go to fucking college and study
D.
fucking
Sicky D.
psychology
Sicky
and
D.
run
Yeah,
businesses and
Sicky D.
you
What's
know,
her
I
name?
don't know.
What's her name?
Jessica.
Miss Jessica.
Uh-huh.
Do you think anybody on this panel would disagree with what you are saying, or did you hear anybody on this panel say that women are slaves or items, or women ain't shit? Did you hear somebody say that?
I heard it from the beginning. Silky said it. For what a woman's point. So it's basically saying a
Hold up, slow
woman's
down, slow
point
down,
is,
slow down,
is
slow
shit.
down,
It
slow down,
was like
slow down.
so
Silky
it's
D said,
already from
Silky
the
D,
get-go, from the start, right? That I don't know. Whatever I say is I don't.
no, Silky D said a woman's job is to please a man. That's what he said. He didn't say a woman ain't shit. I would have stopped him. He said a woman was created to please a man. That's what he said. You
And a man
disagree?
was also created to please a woman.
We
See,
could
that's where
we could agree.
you don't see
We
that
could,
women have it's like they're objects or something. Women have needs, have likes, have
You think they don't
just
do
like
men like that
a
too though?
man likes to be pleased. We like to be pleased too. So that's my take on that.
Hmm. So, so the man's okay. Just think of it like this.
I believe in equality, right? I believe in equality. I believe in a lot of things
Hold up,
of
hold up, Silk. Hold
um
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick. Silky D said a woman was made to for the man. That's what he said. Now you could take it out the if you looking at it from a Bible point of view, he is correct. If you looking at it from a real life point of view, he is correct. Now, when you say that the man was created for the woman also, you are correct, but that's a totally different conversation. So so when you it's like I just want you to just listen, give us a good point of view, but as no way are we bashing your point of view. No way are we saying that you're wrong. You haven't been wrong yet. You just having two totally different You just off topic.
no, it's just that I
Gonna be trash
disagree
for
with
that.
some things,
You putting trash for
right?
that?
I disagree with something. I don't know.
All right, let me ask
You
you this.
know, but here's the thing, I respect other people's points of view,
You
right?
brought up Nick
And just
Cannon.
like I can
You
disagree
brought up
and
you brought up Nick Cannon. You brought up Nick Cannon for a conversation that ain't have shit to do with Nick Cannon.
Oh,
So you
his
having
cup.
two totally different conversations. You feel me?
but what he was talking about was an empire and having a lot of women. What come with those women?
So
Let
you
me.
think Nick
Okay.
Cannon?
Children,
No,
So
he
you
right?
talking
think
about
And
Nick
marriage. He
marriage,
talking
Hold
about
on,
right?
hold
That
marrying them
ties
women.
Cannon.
into
He
the
You
not
think
whole
married to those women.
you think? Hey, Bo, go and talk, Bo.
He talking about we talking about marriage. It's the difference between marriage and just having a whole bunch of baby mamas.
Two different conversations. Would you agree that those are two different conversations? having 10 baby mamas and having 10 wives? Aren't those two different conversations? I'm asking, what's your name? Miss, I'm sorry about that. Would you, Brother Chip, what's good with it? What's,
Hello.
hey, Sicky D, what's her name again?
Oh, Jessica. Yeah, that's guys.
Miss J. We're gonna call her Miss J. Brother Chip, this Miss J. Bo, this is Miss J. Super Wavy, this Miss J. Miss J, we was talking about building an empire with having multiple wives. You brought up Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is not a good example. Nick Cannon got a lot of baby mamas. He not on what we on. He not trying to bridge all that shit together. You a coward. You a coward when you go around laying your seed in different women.
But here's the point too. Like when you have 10 women, right? Because in everything, what is the basis of marriage, right?
I hold on. I muted you real quick. Slow down, Miss J. I muted you real quick. You can't be going around laying your seed in different women and not have them under one household and think that's player. That's not player. We all gonna agree every time. I want you to know something, Miss J. We all agree with you. Nobody is disagreeing with you. You just off topic.
I just don't agree with the whole I don't agree with polygamy,
Okay,
right?
say that then. Say that, Miss J. Say that, Miss J. Now give us your reasons why you don't agree
I
with it.
respect people. If people want to believe in that, I respect, that's what you believe in.
Now
I
give
don't
us your
believe
reasons why.
in polygamy.
One time, Daddy.
Now give us your reasons why, Miss J, if you mind. Give us your reasons why, Miss J, if you mind.
I just don't.
Can you have any reason why, or
You sleeping?
I can make a couple of observations about that from U.S. history.
go ahead? I just wanted her to give an example. If she can't come up with one, Brother Chip, go ahead and fill us in on this part of the conversation, Brother Chip.
Well, historically in the U.S., polygamy has never been legal, even if it's been practiced. And the women and only the first wife has ever had protection as a wife. There was the case, you're probably familiar with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They have the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and then the 19th century original Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The most prominent Mormons were polygamists. They believed that the practices of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, and Solomon were supposed to be practiced today. But of course, the patterns of the birth of men and women generally around the world are not conducive to polygamy. If you look at most countries in the world, the number of men and women are roughly equal. Maybe like 50.5% men to 49.5% women, 51% men, 49% women. And the only time when you get any kind of significant imbalance in most of the world, as between men and women, are men over 65 and women over 65. And the higher those numbers go up, the more women outnumber men. So if a man was going to successfully practice polygamy and match up with the numbers, then the man should marry women who are 70 years and above. That would be the way to maximize the imbalance of men versus women, if men will marry women who are 70 years and over. But as far as in real life goes, in history, only the first wife was ever legally protected. There was a famous case in Utah concerning Brigham Young, one of my namesakes. I'm not in his family. At least I'm probably super distantly related. But he had something like 55 wives, and one of his wives,
Damn.
yeah, he had 55 wives and I think 76 children. And a lot of those early Mormons had a number of wives, but in the West there was a severe imbalance of men and women, so that the very top Mormons could have lots of women, and poorer Mormons would not have any wife. And women were very, very scarce on the American frontier in the best of times. One of the first things that men settlers wanted when they arrived at a new place in the West was a wife, and they would write to country after country, place after place, "We need a wife." And that was part of the reason that the American frontier was so bloody. You had men who had nothing to do except to play cards. There was only a handful of women, and most of them were either wives or prostitutes. And so there was very little to do, lots of drinking, lots of brawls. And sometimes you had a couple hundred deaths in a Western town before you had anybody die of natural causes. So, but in the case of Brigham Young, his wife, Annalisa Young, tried to divorce him because aside from banging her once in a while, she was living in a couple of rooms in a cold house with no company, with no firewood, with no connection with anybody, and she got tired of it, and she decided to sue him for divorce. But her suit was denied because she wasn't a legal wife. The only legal wife Brigham Young had was his first one.
Mm-hmm.
So that is polygamy in a nutshell in the USA. It's still the case. It's still the case. If you look at the polygamous communities like the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or there was a group in Georgia, Tennessee, that was called the Nubian Society of Moors, where the guy who started that got himself into polygamy. There was, of course, Yahweh Ben Yahweh out of Miami that did something similar. He wanted to have lots of women. There was the Family of Love, the Children of God. They used to proselytize men with what they called flirty fishing. They'd send out the prettiest girls they could to go find men who looked lonely and said, "Hey, how would you like to convert to this? And by the way, we have lots of sex." That was a rather popular group in some circles when they
So,
were
brother
offering
Chip.
free sex.
So, brother Chip, is it safe to say, from everything we just heard from you, is it safe to say that you're against polygamy?
Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't work any better than, say, one guy having 9 baby mamas work.
All right, now let me ask you this, brother Chip. You come by you saying it don't work. That's your point of view, and I appreciate your point of view. But let me just say this: your white people, they come from monogamy. In England, you got the queen, she the shit. You got the king, they come from monarch. Where we come from in Africa, we had multiple wives, and it's still going on to this day. Now you had tribes, or you had woman kings that had one king, woman queens, my bad, they had one king. And I noticed the reason why I asked, is it safe to say that you're against polygamy? Because practice that you named for polygamy were cult leaders. Every single one were some damn cult leaders or religious sects. And I call religion cults. So how we looking at it, we more so looking at it like we've been displaced from our natural homeland. We've been taught another language. We trying to get up on society and have a head start for our kids and 30 years down the line. Now, we could be Bo, it's saying you need to connect something. We could be a actor. We could be a basketball player. We can do all of those things. You know what I'm saying? But one thing for sure is we got to have a strong foundation. Having just one wife or one baby mama, if you black, that don't put you ahead of the curve. That put your ass behind the curve. We trying to be ahead of the 8 ball, brother Chip. So by you mentioning cult leaders, when we talking about polygamy, come on, brother Chip, you gotta do better than that. And when you say it don't work, now I'm not like Sippy D. I'm not gonna say that we need 10 wives, but at least 3 or 4. At least 3 or 4 wives. Now you gotta understand, brother Chip, we in America, we black in America. So that number ratio game that you played on us, you feel me? You gotta understand. They created the prison system when they let the when they abolished slavery, and now we got these prison systems. So it's modern day slavery. So we got a lot of our brothers, a lot of our young black kings going to prison, getting these jersey numbers from environmental pressures, meaning you was born in the ghetto, you never had a youth center to go to, you never had a good school with some good after school programs and give a fuck about school or doing homework. You never had a teacher that looked like you. We've been put in this environment, brother Chip. You feel me? Where it's like we turn our back. We got the police looking at us crazy. We got people that look like just like me. We got to worry about a nigga looking just like us looking at us crazy because of the environmental pressures, Jim Crow, all of this crazy shit. Now we trying to get out of this, brother Chip. We trying to get out of this goddamn mud pile that's been placed upon our people. So when you play the numbers games, I just gotta let you know that a lot of our brothers are dead or in jail from environmental pressures.
Before, the interesting thing is, before the civil rights movement, when Jim Crow was at its strongest, the black family was much stronger and the marriages hung together much better. And generally speaking, if the 3 things that are the best predictors of success in society are get married if you can, stay married if you're married, graduate from something that gives you a job, and do your best to teach your children in such a way that they too can get some sort of a job or an education. That if a person and then don't use drugs and don't drink too much. So if a person does those 3 things, graduates from something, gets married and stays together, and stays away from drugs and alcohol, those people have a high prediction of success. And I think you will also find that if the man and the woman stay together, there are more resources to dedicate. If you have one man and various women, the resources are depleted trying for one guy to take care of various women. And typically what happens in a polygamous deal or in the baby mama formula, you have a whole bunch of people living on social services because the man simply can't make enough money to support all that. So I think that the advice to marry one and stay with her is a better model for women than to marry two or three or four when there's no resources for it.
Let me
Let
help you
me
out.
let me,
Let me help
let me
you out.
come in. Let me
Let me
get
help.
in there.
Hey, hold up. Hey, let me say this one thing, Silk, then it's on you. Let me say this one thing, Silk, then it's on you, because I know you're ready.
Good,
Let me say this one thing. Now,
good.
trying to provide for multiple households, I don't think me or Silky D would say that's the right choice to go. When we talking about polygamy, we talking about having all of our wives under one roof. So under one roof, and we damn sure and let me just say this for me. Let me just say this for me. Having all of your wives under one roof kills the whole I gotta take care of multiple households. I gotta pay 5 light bills. No, we are under one household. Also, everybody's productive. You feel me? I can be a millionaire off music, off my clothing brand, and then give me 3 wives, and then they ain't gotta do shit but be my assistants. I can do that. But I'm talking about for a regular black man living modern day life with environmental pressures on his ass, police on his ass, everybody on his ass. This how we gonna get out of this. Having 3 or 4 wives in your house, and they being productive. What I mean by productive, they are their own, they are bosses. They got jobs. Now, what I mean by bosses, they got a job, but then they gonna have a side hustle. You can go work for Mr. John, but then your ass better be doing hair on the side. You can go work for Mrs. Kathy, but then your ass better be doing nails on the side. Cause I'm gonna be doing the same thing, and y'all gonna be wanting the same thing out of me. So what we talking about, Brother Chip, is more so of a family, Brother Chip. When you see 7 Mexicans living in a 2-bedroom house, Brother Chip, and you see 5 cars outside, because you got 7 Mexicans living in one house, they working, they sending money back to Mexico. They got a foundation. They know what the fuck going on. So in 5 years, it ain't gonna be them same 7 Mexicans in one house. It's gonna be the grandkids coming up, and they gonna be then branched off and got their own house, and we're gonna redo this shit again. We're gonna bring some cousins from Mexico, and we're gonna run this shit back like 5 years ago. So with the black family, Brother Chip, we talking about keeping all the wives under one household and everybody getting money, not trying to live off the government. Brother
Let
Silk.
me say something.
It's funny that
Hold
you
on, it's on
mentioned.
me though, real quick. Hold on. So the whole thing with the multiple thing, whether it be wives or girls or whatever it is, yes, you could have multiple incomes. That is one thing that should be going down. And then another, I can give a whole lot of reasons why. Let's just say if you do got kids, if you got multiple girls, you can easily assign one of the girls to take care of the kids and run it like an in-house daycare. If one of the girls gets sick, let's just say the man of the household gets sick and they need somebody to go work, and they also need somebody to take care of the house or the sick man, that's another reason why you would have another wife. You know what I'm saying? Like you relying on one person, that puts you at an easy risk to get taken out. But if you had multiple, you wouldn't be missing a beat. You know what I'm saying? You need like
Have you studied the dynamic?
I've studied, pretty good.
Have you studied the dynamic? Because typically, what you get is wars. When you have polygamy, when you have multiple women who are dancing on one guy, you get World War II, 3, and 4 going on.
He's talking about that. Nah, man, because they're not supposed to. If they're on that, they're not. That's not the ones. That's not the ones you need to keep
You
around.
get, but I'm saying this is absolute. This is absolutely. It falls into various patterns.
That's what it falls in. That's why even in those empires in the past, they used to kill each other.
If you get sick,
Right?
how are you
Exactly.
going to take care of your man?
She is right. She
Hey,
is
hey, hey,
right.
Silk, hey, Silk,
And I
let her
can show
let
you.
her
I
talk.
can
Let
show
her
you
talk, Silk.
example
She ain't,
after
she ain't talking
example
like
after
20
example.
minutes. Let her talk. I know she got a lot to say. Let her talk.
I don't have a lot to say. I just said it. I disagree.
She
I
is right.
disagree.
And
How
for
many more?
If
The
you
saying
get
goes,
sick,
more money, more problems,
if you
right?
get sick, what's gonna who's gonna take
More,
care of the kids?
more. I'm talking about the dynamic of a relationship,
Who's gonna make the
right?
money to take care of the house?
How many wives have you had
I'm just
already at
saying,
this
if you
age?
get
Since
sick,
because you're imagining like this is the
I'm just
goal, like
saying. I'm just
this
saying.
is
All I'm saying is,
this is
if you get
that's
sick,
crazy. How many women have
if
you found to
you get
subscribe to
sick,
that?
there's plenty of that to start
it's
with
We
that.
like
in
it's
we
it's
in
like
we in
the
America. We in
it's
Yeah,
like
America. These women brainwashed.
the Saturday Night Live
These
skit.
women brainwashed.
Down, 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 down,
all
down.
I'm saying
King
is, if
Tut.
you get sick, who's gonna like? If you get
Come
sick and he
on,
gets sick,
hold on.
good.
Hey, hold up, Silk. Hold up, Silk. Y'all can have that conversation, but brother Chip, what you was saying?
No, I was saying he's got the Saturday Night Live vibe going on. The down, 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 down. King Tut. Boom, 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 boom.
I think
King Tut. Boom, boom,
the
boom.
whole thing is really it's really delusional, right? There is situations and I don't know, it just brings too many problems. Then with the kids, with the different wives, the mothers, the interactions, shit like that. I don't believe in that. And it's funny that he brought up somebody brought up Mexicans, right? Like,
Yeah, I
oh,
did.
they all work together in the house. That's true.
That's a
But
different thing entirely.
Mexicans are high believers and they believe in regular marriage,
They do.
right?
They do.
Um,
And the
Man
Mexicans you
and
find here,
woman, right? Two.
I know
The
lots of
feminine
them, and I
and the
speak the language.
masculine, not the feminine and or masculine and lots of other feminines or feminines, and it's feminine and masculine, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, and that's, you know,
So
yeah,
so so
that's how they
so you
usually
said
work. So it's funny
so you
that
said
that
so you said
was
it's
brought
funny
up.
I brought up so you said it's funny I brought up Mexicans to highlight that they're monogamous.
No. What
Hold
you're
on,
comparing to?
brother Chip. Hold up, brother Chip. Let her explain.
Go ahead.
You said it's funny I brought up Mexicans to say that they have regular marriages. That's what you was trying to say, Miss J.
No, just since you mentioned it, that's why I also brought it up. Mexicans, they believe in the foundation. Like you said, there's a foundation, and even in the Bible, it talks about the foundation of like three, right? God, the feminine, the masculine, right? So that's what I believe in, right? Because here's the thing, it's delusional, right? Some women might fall into, and I've even seen it, like I've heard on the shows of the people that have multiple wives and shit like that. Um, the man was usually ruining all their fucking lives, right? Did y'all hear about that show that was on TV, right? And
I mean,
now a lot of them are doing better without him,
ain't
right?
nothing that we talking about. Ain't nothing that we talking about is coming from TV. So we in real life right now.
Just lie.
So let me ask you
Well,
this.
that's a real life polygamy family. I mean, it fits into what y'all talk. It doesn't work out,
With a
right?
TV show.
Nah,
Because
that's
one
stage right
That's a
there.
woman,
TV show.
huh?
That's a
TV
TV
show.
show. They got a
Them folks
camera
get
crew.
paid for that.
So,
Them folks get
so
paid for that.
Sean, what do you think about the super wavy polyandry lifestyle? Like
Man,
you,
I think
where you find another dude, and you get a girl, and you go in halves on her. What do you think about that?
You said, and I found another dude.
Yeah, find another dude, and you find a girl, and you bring her in, and you share her. You know
You run a train on.
you and dude two,
Brother,
find a girl,
brother,
and you
brother
share her.
Chip.
I've heard of shit like that, polygamy from
What
that
the
sense
fuck,
too,
brother
where
Chip
one
talking about,
woman
man?
Brother
and
Chip.
man.
Let
Brother
me
Chip,
get it.
what the hell
Let
you
me
got
see.
going on, brother Chip?
He talking. Let me tell
Maybe you
you.
have
Brother
super
Chip on
wavy
some
one,
freaky shit.
and you have super short hair. You have super short ponytail number two, and then you find a girl that you go in with. So you have two dudes,
How
and
many
you
sperm
have the girl,
cells?
and you share
How
her.
many?
Man, he talking
How
about
many
run a
sperm
G
cells does a
on, run a
man
train, man.
How would you like
Sip,
that?
hold up, Sip. You're going off topic. I'm trying to, brother Chip. Are you saying that? Are you saying that we are on here vouching for man,
Choo
woman
choo.
polygamy?
No, it's polyandry. There are
I ain't
cultures
even
that
know
do
that
it.
existed.
For
That's just
example,
crazy.
Ain't it a shortage on men
Nah,
already?
that ain't no
Unless I
statistics.
Brother
double up
Chip,
on
we
one
just
That's
got
girl.
briefing.
brother Chip. We told you most of our brothers are dead or in jail, and you over here trying to divide the numbers even more.
I mean,
I mean,
find a guy
that's just
that
the same
gets
thing
out
as
on
the other
parole and needs a
way
place to
around,
stay. And you
right?
find a girl,
It's
and
retarded
there
is
you
what
go.
it
You're all
is.
I've
set.
seen it. I've
It makes
seen.
no sense when it's y'all outnumber us majorly. Majorly outnumber us. And then these
For us to
fools are
settle for
jumping
one, though. You right, though.
on one girl, stretching her out, wearing her out. And then she like, I mean, I guess like a hot dog down the hallway. Like, ain't hitting no walls. Like that, like how good is that? After like a day or two, you
Hey,
know what I mean?
hold up. Hey, brother Chip. I want you to go next, but Bo, go ahead, go, Bo.
This reality.
Man. Hey, man, brother Chip threw me with the running the train shit, man.
There is
We
actually,
cannot, we cannot be in a relationship. I seen the movie. You seen that movie Savage? That movie Savage like that.
You stupid with the two white boys and the girl.
The two white
Yeah, I
boys
seen.
and the girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that
But
crap.
it wasn't really polygamy, but shit, that's like the same. That's damn near the same instant.
I'm just saying it's pointless when it's more women than men. It ain't like it's not that
Yeah,
many
it
men.
don't make no sense for two men to have one
Yeah, we
wife or
shouldn't
some
be
dumbass
saying.
gay ass shit like that
Yeah, because
versus
it's
one
too.
it's
man to
rather
have
rare,
multiple
but there are
wives.
societies that practice that. For
You right though.
example,
It's
up in
probably society.
Nepal.
But a woman can only have one child. A man can impregnate a whole nation. That's why we got had that many sperm cells. We can impregnate 1,000 chicks to
But
the day
just
we
because
die.
you can doesn't mean you should,
That's biology.
right?
You're going against
Just because
biology.
you can, no, it's
It's
not. Just because
biology.
you can doesn't mean you should.
You know how many sperm cells?
There's so many
It's a
things
million
you
sperm
think.
cells.
Hey, let
Every
me let
day
me
you can
answer.
impregnate.
Let me answer brother Chip question. All right, brother Chip. All right,
She
brother
got to
Chip.
pay for it.
Let me answer brother Chip question. All right, brother Chip.
She got to pay for it.
Were you asking my opinion on that type of relationship? Because you said how you feel about it.
I was playing with you a little bit. I mean, I knew what I was going to get, but there's actually are societies that do polyandry in small numbers, and it's you. For example, in Nepal, there's women with two or three husbands. They'll have an older husband, they'll have a middle-aged husband, they'll have a young husband. They'll live together, they'll pool their salaries, and they'll live in the same house. In some Pacific Islands, you have brother marriages where two brothers, natural brothers, will share a wife. So it's not unheard of in a couple of cultures in the Himalayas or in Pacific Islands, but it's very rare. Generally, people don't particularly enjoy that. But the problem still goes that the natural way of life is that men slightly outnumber women by 1 or 2%, except in cases where there's wars or exceptional circumstances. But mostly, you're going to find about a 1 or 2% or less difference between the numbers of men and women. So if one man has 2 or 3 wives, another man is not going to have one. He's not going to have one. And so if you have a case where a lot of people are trying polygamy, then you're going to have what the Mormons had, which were some men have a lot and many, many more have none at all.
Hey, brother
Well,
Chip. Oh, my bad, Sicky D. You got it.
that goes back to the caveman days. See, when we first started all this back in the caveman days, it was the hunters that the women wanted to be with because of the protection, because of the manliness. You know what I'm saying? Those were the guys that was getting the women. The berry gatherers, I guess you would call them maybe alphas and betas. The betas is what you're referring to. They wasn't getting any women. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of why they say what 20% of the male race sleeps with 80% of the women, because most women don't really notice beta guys. You know what I'm saying? Most guys are invisible to a lot of women. They don't see them. There's a lot of guys that don't get played. So it's buku amount of guy versions out there because they're just not. You know what I'm saying? Not really, I guess, alpha males or whatnot. But women don't pay attention. Women all want tall, dark, and handsome. They all want strong and muscular. They all want safe and protecting. They all want high earning. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to mention, so you got all these women going for the same kind of man. And not to mention, there's already a shortage on that man. And you got buku amount of numbers of women, older and young, coming out every day. You know what I'm saying? And you got
I think
wars. You
I
got
think
jail.
I think Brother Chip is speaking on American statistics and not African American statistics.
Well, I just
So
gave him some stats.
no,
Well,
no,
I think
I'm
I
talking
think
about
the
Brother
birth
Chip.
ratios are the same. I don't
He
think that
said
you're
Brother
going.
Chip,
I said the birth ratios are the same.
the
Maybe
birth rate is probably the same, but the incarceration rate is not the same. The death rate is not the same, Brother Chip. So although we birthing as the same rate as y'all, we dying faster. We going to jail for more years. We going to jail for longer. Our women are longer.
I mean to cut
Our
y'all
are
off,
widows
but y'all heard
at
about
early
that
ages in their
goddamn. Y'all
19s
heard.
to 20s
well
because
the
John
answer to that is
Wait,
to marry older women.
wait,
what's
before
up,
I
Bo?
forget, I don't mean to cut y'all off, but
Hey,
y'all
you got
heard
hey
about.
Bo,
Damn, I
Bo, you a
forgot
little
what
low.
country that was.
Hey, get a little closer to your mic, Bo. You a little low.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you just a little
Hold
low.
on.
You hear?
I hear you.
Hey, y'all heard about that goddamn country? Damn, I forgot the name of that motherfucker, but they ain't had a birth in 3 months.
Haven't had a what in 3
Google that
months?
shit, boy.
It's the
They
Asian
ain't had
one,
a
wasn't
birth
it?
in 3 months.
Yeah, it was an Asian
Yeah, I don't think
country.
it was Asian. I don't think it was Asian.
Hey, hold on. You said they ain't
I
have a
think it was
what?
a birth. A baby had born in 3 months.
They like put a hold on it or something like they like put a
I
they
ain't see
say they
that
had to
shit
start
on TikTok or none of that shit.
You ain't pull up.
That shit
Where
was
is
on
that
News
supposed to
Break.
be?
Yeah, I seen that.
Nah, he just said something about goddamn about the birth rate, and that just made me think about this shit. That's some population troll shit.
So where is that country that
Depopulation
you talked
shit.
about?
Bro, yeah,
Huh.
my opening
Where?
statement was, I don't know what country it is.
Hey,
I forgot what country it is. But have you heard of the country?
I don't
I
That
remember.
was
We
my
had to pull
opening
it up.
statement, brother. Chill.
You
I
gotta
haven't heard
Google
of
it.
any country
I
where
said, and
there
then I
hasn't been a
said,
birth
wave
in
it.
3 months.
Look it up right quick.
It's recent.
This shit recent. The mother seeking that shit like that.
I doubt it, but I'm looking it up.
That was some random shit popped up on my phone on news break.
I'm looking it up right now too.
Well, they were talking about the theory is that Italy was that country,
Italy, yeah, Italy.
but
It probably was
there's
Italy.
but that is wrong. Thousands of children are born each month in Italy, even though they have a very low birth rate. Thousands of children are born each month in Italy. There's millions of Italians.
Let me look, man. Them folks ain't finna lie like that.
Nah, brother Chip.
Yes.
Go down to what country? Go down to people also ask. Scroll down where you at right now and go to people also ask what country hasn't had a birth rate in 3 months. It say Italy.
But it's not true.
This shit recent. This shit just popped up in my news feed on my news break in the last week.
All right, let me share my screen. Brother Chip say it's fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
Damn, when last time you been to Italy, brother Chip?
2 years ago.
God damn, you said you stand up. You act like I said this shit recent. This shit ain't 2 years ago. This shit is recent.
Hey, this October
You said it like
2023.
You said it like it was a everyday trip to Walmart type thing, brother Chip.
Well, no, I
October
mean,
2023.
I don't live in Italy, or it would be a trip to Walmart, but it's simply not true. They have a low birth rate. That is
How
true.
can you debunk that, brother Chip?
I can absolutely guarantee that there have been births in Italy in the last 3 months. Guarantee
The only
it.
way that could be proved.
It say 3 months.
The only way that could be proved, brother Chip, is by to show some birth records.
It say
All
3
right.
months.
Okay. Coming up.
Oh, coming up.
And it say 3 months.
I had heard that there was there's been a lower birth rate for a certain amount of time, and it's gonna affect the future generations of who's gonna be able to take care of the elderly generations, because people are having less kids now.
Who's gonna take care of the elderly? Huh.
Yeah, of a certain, you know how it goes, like, yeah, there was the birth rate significantly dropped.
I think you're talking about like single mothers growing old and dying alone is what you're talking about, is what you might be referring to. Which goes back to the whole little, you know what I'm saying, thing. But yeah, that's what you're talking about. Who's gonna help the old ladies when they get older and they're all by
And no,
themselves?
who's gonna everyone,
It's gonna be
the older
kids, and they ain't got no
generations,
kids. All these single
the older
ladies that ain't
generations.
got no children, no family, no people really, you know what I'm saying, no foundation. They're gonna be growing old. They're gonna be on their own, and there ain't gonna be nobody around to help them.
And men too, though. That's the thing. It's not just something that affects one sex and not the other, right?
Well, the men are
Obviously,
gonna
it's
kind of be
talking
set up
about a
for
whole generation. It's not talking about, oh, specifically. No, of course, men and women. Like, it was gonna affect. Yeah, so I was like, wow. But at the same time, I understand why, because kids cost fucking money. Kids are fucking expensive. So who wants to have,
well,
like, people are like,
they pushing the gay propaganda. Of course, there ain't no damn kids happening. The whole LGBT thing, that's to slow down that's population control. That's why they pushing it so damn hard. As long as they ain't having sex, they turning gay, they ain't having no more kids. That's what that shit all about.
Hey, Bo.
Shit, you might be right, bro. Chip. Fat check said it's wrong. False.
Fact check said it's wrong.
They say fat check. Italy had no new births for 3 months in 2023 is false.
How old is that? How old is that article? How old is that fact check?
Oh, let me see.
That fact check got to be this month because the article from last month.
You see that?
I say the fact check got to be from this month because the article from last month.
This is oh shit, this say 5 days ago.
The article was in October the 4th.
Social media posting with evidence that Italy has registered. Hold on. Registered new births for 3 months, contrary to reports by National Statistics Bureau and local media. ISC told Reuters that the 3 most recent months of data available show more than.
Man, you gotta read. You gotta read that and give us a synopsis of what you read, nigga. We can't follow. I'm gonna say you was right. They ain't gonna make that shit up, man.
Oh no way.
You want to know why they out the blue?
Cookie.
What you found, brother Chip?
Okay, I put in the chat. I put in the chat the population statistics from in Italian from 2002 to 2022, which gives a list of the number of children in Italy each year from 2002 to 2022. And so I mean, you maybe don't have the information of 2023, but it's not going to be drastically different. What is true is that the Italians are not having enough kids. Their population rate is below a replacement rate, which is 2.2 children. So if you have 2.2, every couple should have 2 children, and then they take a third child and they cut off the head, and then they cut off the shoulders, and then they cut off the stomach, and they cut off the legs, and they send about 20% child to each family with 2 kids in order to get the 2.2.
Hold on. Say it again.
No, for real.
Say it again.
It's a little joke.
I was about to say, man, I'm thinking in my head, like, what did he just say?
It's a little joke.
Third child. So is that third child or not?
Brother Tip, you on that Puerto Rican laughing gas.
So is it a real third child or no?
No, it's 2.2 statistical children
Right.
replacement rate. So if 4 couples have 2 children and the 5th couple have 3, then you have in a population enough to replace the current population, whatever that is. And so Italy, I think, is down to 1.68 or 1.79 or some such. And so they are below the rate of replacement. So over the long term, Italy and several other European countries are going to lose population. Italy will lose population. Germany will lose population. Japan will lose population. Most of Europe will lose some population. France is about at replacement rate, maybe just a little above it.
They've been kind of declining, right?
What's that?
I said they've been kind of declining, right?
Yes, it's a long-term trend, and it's a long-term trend due to many factors.
Are you speaking of minorities?
No, not minorities, just population in general. It has nothing to do with minorities. It has to do with.
Let's not get hung up. Let's not get hung up on this because this don't really matter. So Let's just take it as a conversation.
Well, I am taking it as a conversation.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you, Brother Chip. I'm talking to Silk.
Okay.
You can keep going, Brother Chip. It's on you.
Okay. Well, so Italy is not at replacement rate, but they are having children. What happens? What's happening in society generally is that it costs money to raise kids. They are not an advantage for the family. So, and you have increasing numbers of younger people who say they don't want any kids at all. Or if they want any, they want one. There's very few families, there's relatively few families that even have 3 children.
So it's safe to say that this statistic really don't really matter, though, right?
Oh,
Like
it
when we talk.
matters. It matters.
All right,
It
can you
matters.
explain?
It matters in several levels. First of all, it matters on the pension structure. If you have a population which is getting above 20% retirement age, then you have an increasing fewer number of working people who are supporting the pension system for increasing numbers of older people. And then you also have um, decreased decreased demand in the economy for different for goods and services, because the more older people you get into society, the less they need to consume. When people get to 65 and older, they have all the clothes they need, they have all the household goods they need, they have all the furniture they need, they have all the houses they need. They drive less. They buy less gasoline. They buy fewer new products. They have less interest in what's coming in the new things that are coming out. They have less interest in new technology. So it
Are
has
you
a
speaking of
cascading
preservation of life for
economic
older
effect in the
people?
society.
Hey,
Go
Silk.
ahead.
Hey, Silk.
Yeah.
We gonna beat Brother Chip up properly. Answer your question again. Ask your question again.
Me. So you're talking about like the wealth, like in the strong survive and the preservation. Is that what you're referring to?
No, no. We're just talking about economic trends based on population trends.
He talking about the government. He talking about the
how,
government.
Right.
how
Not even the
something is
government. The government is part of it, but it's not all of it. What it is that if you have a massive number of older people and fewer younger people, then you have a society which is not going to consume as much. It's not going to be as economically productive. If you have a very young population, where you have lots and lots of young kids and few older people, then they need lots of goods and services. They need schools, teachers, education. They need roads. They need factories. They need modernized agriculture. They need new technology.
So
They
what are you
need lots
saying?
of things
Brother
that
Chip.
in the economy. Go ahead.
Brother Chip. Let me just say this. I feel like you on this topic and the polygamy topic, you Americanizing the conversation. Now, let me just say this. Now, with all of these European countries' populations going down, and I say that don't really matter. What I'm saying is the day-to-day businesses and day-to-day operations and how these countries are ran will continue to be the same. Now, when you mention pension and when you mention all of those other things,
I know.
those that would be like that would be like
Bullshit.
my bad. Somebody said something.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Like when you mention pensions and like the old people and the young people, like basically what I'm saying is these European countries' populations declining over years, don't really even matter, because at the end of the day, they gon' what's going on is gonna continue going on. Nothing's gonna stop. The ball is not gonna be dropped. Technology is gonna keep advancing. We ain't even got cashiers no more. We talking to robots. I got AI. So there's ways that we can combat if this is really a problem, but I don't see it as a problem. That's why I say these stats don't matter.
Let me get in there one time. And then like Europe for yeah, like he said, the European decline. And it's been like that forever. But that's only cause the color. That's only cause we're mixing so much. Cause all the heavy mixing. The heavy mixing is putting them on the decline, which is why they always try to keep us segregated. Which is why that was their number one thing is to protect their white race. Cause once the white race is all mixed up, once all the white people mixed, it's a wrap after that. It ain't no going back. So that's what they trying to slow down. That's what they panicking about. That's what they tripping over these European on the decline. Like I said, they're the minorities now.
I like that,
Mo-
Silk. I like that, Silk. I like that.
most of the big European cities are very mixed. If you go to London, you go to Paris, go to Berlin, go to Rome.
But they still push the doctrine to try to keep us separate, to try to keep the mixing, you know what I'm saying, separated. They don't like the mixing still. They
I mean,
passed some laws for that stuff, right? Like currently now.
I wouldn't
it's
say
actually
I
not.
wouldn't
That's
say
actually
they
not true.
yeah,
That's
I
actually
wouldn't
not
say
true.
they yeah, I wouldn't, Brother Chip, I'm about to let you speak. I wouldn't say they don't like the mixing. I wouldn't say they don't like the mixing, Silk. I would say that these stats self-reflect of what they going through. I would just say that. Like, I ain't gonna say what not to say, but I wouldn't say they don't agree with the mixing. Although there might be an underlying condition or the underlying theme. But
Why you think it's neighborhoods you can't move into?
what you say?
I said, why you think it's neighborhoods you can't move into?
Nah, we talking about European countries. He brought up UK, he brought up London and all of that. What we saying
Yeah,
is it's not so much that they don't agree with the mixing, it's just that what you said at first about the numbers declining because we seeing a lot of interracial, we just gonna stand there. We're gonna throw our gun right there. You know what I'm saying? The stats reflect that.
It
The
it's
stats
it
reflect
has
that.
nothing to do with the social mix of the society. When obviously Europeans are majority. The people who are from Europe, born in Europe, from European descent, for if they're of European descent from 100, 200 years ago, there's a very high probability that they're white. Just the same as if you go to Congo, or you go to Benin or Togo, or you go to or you go to Ghana, or any of these
it's gonna
countries,
be black. Yeah, we know
they're going to
that.
be black. That's
Okay,
just
so
reality. That's not racism. It's reality.
no, it's
But
because the slave trade was global and black people are everywhere and we've been mixing forever and this is just the numbers finally catching up and they seeing it in their face.
well, I mean, when you have, for example, the ex-colonial empires of the UK, of France, of Portugal, and even Italy had a small colonial empire in Ethiopia and Libya. The former people in the former colonies have for decades now gone to the country that used to be the colonial power. They've immigrated. They've gone. They've gone to school. They've studied. They've gotten jobs. They've married French. They've married French people. They've married people from other countries, and they're living there, and they mix, and especially in the large cities, they can get in the large cities they can
Hey,
get the
see,
highest
Silk. Hey,
positions.
Silk. You took him off his
Yeah.
damn point. Now he trying to now he trying to go back and forth with you when he probably was about to say something you was gonna agree with.
He lost. Hell no. He sound lost.
Because you threw the slave trade, in there, and now he on the slave trade. You changed the conversation.
We ain't really on the slave trade.
The slavery in the UK was abolished in 1839. Slavery in Europe generally was very low. Where the transatlantic slave trade went was to the sugar places, mostly to Brazil, to the Caribbean, and then to some extent to the cotton growing places in the southern states. There wasn't a lot, there weren't a lot of slaves in the northern U.S. states. That the level of slavery in those places were very low.
Brother Chip. You caught up right now because he
I
threw.
don't even know what the fuck the goddamn topic is.
Back to the population.
Let me say something real quick, Brother Chip. He mentioned something that really was that ain't had nothing to do with the conversation, and now you kind of tagging along. You said that people in Europe are white. You said people in Africa are black. What was you trying to say after that?
No, after that I said that there were the Europeans in the 19th century made colonies in Africa, and that after the World War II, when decolonialism was starting, a lot of people who wanted to move from different places in Africa went to the colonies, to the colonial power. A lot of them.
Stuck, man. I'm just go in, go back and forth about the slave trade, man. That wasn't a topic, but if that's what y'all want to discuss, we could discuss that.
But when they were decolonized and independent,
did you just say they got a ride?
A lot of them went
they
to
wanted
the
to leave
colonial power.
You said they caught a ride. That's what you said.
What's that?
You said the colonials, the colonies in Africa wanted to catch a ride, or they wanted to leave.
No, they didn't. I mean, there were people who came to.
About that. Let me give y'all a little fun fact about this black shit in America.
Let them talk, man. Let
and
me
this
hear
slave trade and all this dumbass shit. And you can look this shit up. West Africans been traveling to this land for 180 years before them folk even thought about this shit over here.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's because the Indians are people. The Indians.
Hold on. Sickity, this is where you get pseudo it. God damn it, Brother Chip. I know you're gonna disagree with it. I need you to.
I don't know about no Indians and shit. I know that West Africa. I just know what the fuck I said, and I ain't say shit about no damn no damn Indians.
Wavy, ask Chip the question again.
Hey, Silky D, we not no damn Indians. What was the question, Silk?
Well, the one you asked him right before he started talking, before Bo interrupted. What was that question you was asking him?
What I was saying is that after decolonialization, between 1946 and really continuing up to today, you have people from the former colonies who have gone into Europe for education, for jobs, for different reasons.
Brother Chip, he got you somewhere. I don't know what Silky D said
talking
exactly.
About immigration.
I don't know what Silky D said exactly, but he got you locked on Africa. He got you locked on it, and like that wasn't. I think he just said an outburst, Brother Chip. He just said an outburst. That was just an outburst, Brother Chip. That wasn't.
But let's hear his knowledge on it.
Well, I mean, we've gone all over we've gone all over the lumber yard here. We started out with the polygamous families where you're all going to have where you're all going to have 10 women. You're going to live in 10-bedroom houses and have 10 little bedrooms
Go
with
back
your
to the
10 wives.
decolonization.
And then you're going
Start
to
that.
throw the children on the dining room and living room floor, and you're going to be stepping on little Lego blocks everywhere, and that.
Go back to the decolonization. Continue with the
Sip,
decolonization.
because you didn't lock up Chip brain with that colonization. Slow down with that, bro. Slow down with that.
I want to hear what he had to say.
No, because goddamn it, you listen, brother Chip. Let me just say this. I am no way advocating that my black brothers should be out here trying to get 10 wives with 10-bedroom houses. I am no way advocating that. If you
I'm
could
just
start
playing
off,
with you. I'm just playing along.
nah, brother Chip, I know you is, brother Chip. I know you is. I say 3 to 4 and a 2-bedroom house. You really just need a bed for the kids and a bed for you and your wives. But you better have a big ass bed, brother Chip.
Oh,
Two California
I,
kings.
I think you're going to have more women. You want women to go to jail at a higher rate because they're going to be beating the shit out of each other if you
Yeah,
get them in your house.
Uh,
they ain't
hey,
going
boy,
on no
you
real black
got
women.
Silk. Y'all got it, man.
Okay, so Chip, man. So you said decolonization. What about segregation?
There was no segregation in Europe, except what people were able to afford or what they couldn't afford.
I ain't
Even
talking
in
about Europe. You still on? Okay, you want to go on the segregation? You want to go on the Europe? Oh, we back. Okay, bet. So the population control and the numbers declining in the European number game, which makes them the minority now, right?
no, not really. I mean, you have
Globally.
not really. I mean, you still have millions of native Europeans still living there. I mean, but you have the population going down because they're not having as many kids.
No, I'm talking about the European bloodline is now is the minority.
Silky D. You know how many European countries there are?
There's more color in the globe than it is European than it is white.
Tricky D.
Well, I mean,
Everybody
there's
They're the
still
minority. We're
well, the
not the
people are still the
minority.
majority in Europe.
If you
But
look at genetics, there's the Eve gene.
Globally, they're minority.
well,
Everyone
globally, they're
came from a
minority.
black
Yes, you're
woman.
right.
Every color came
Which
from a black
adds to the
woman.
decline.
What?
Which
No,
which
it has nothing.
furthermore,
They were always a minority. There were never a huge number of white people. There was never a huge number of white people. There was always more Asians than anything else. And
well,
if you
Asians
look,
kind of consider white though.
That's why I said my bad, Silky D. Say it again.
You had. I mean, I was. Asians are kind of they're like secondary white people. Those are like the white cousins kind of.
don't tell them that.
They just passed a law to motherfucking protect their asses, but they
Silk,
didn't pass
what
a law to
the hell
protect black
wrong with
people.
you? What the heck? Silk, you gotta stop. Silk, you gotta stop.
You
I'm
are getting
stopping you
vexed.
right now. Silk, I'm gonna stop you right now. Brother Chip, you didn't hear that. Brother Chip, you did not hear that. I'm sorry.
Well, no, don't worry. I'm not that sensitive. Don't worry about it.
No,
I'm
they Asians are the white. That's like secondary white people. Those that's their cousins.
Silky D, Asians are older than white people, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm saying the closest thing to white people is Asians.
Silky D, that's not even that's your opinion.
It's a fact, nigga. Chinese, the Orientals, those pale Asians. That's their secondary like cousins.
Brother Chip, I don't know what the hell he's saying. If you want to reply, you can. I'm sorry, brother Chip.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about. They are not they are not the same as Europeans. They're different culturally, they're different physically, but they're human beings. I mean, they're human beings like you. So I mean, it's we don't think of them necessarily as white, but it's not necessary. It's nor would they think of us as Asians. So it doesn't matter. It's you know, you have 2 arms, two legs, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, and a set of hair. What does it matter?
After all these years, they haven't passed now one law to protect black people. But they passed the law. They just passed that law to protect Asians. The white people
What?
did that because
So,
they're looking to make Asians like their new like fellow like
Hold on,
white
hold on,
folks.
hold on, hold on. We
so
we
what
in
does that
America.
refer to?
We
In
in
what
America.
country are you talking about?
I
That's
think he
new
talk-
news. That's
I
new
think
news. That's
he-
fair.
I think he talking about America, brother Chip. He just went from a global to a conversation to a local conversation.
Okay.
Well, not even though, because still they always try to slow down the production of. That's why they was the black folk. That's what they like. I said, it would go right back to the beginning of them trying to stop it up, trying to because like you said, they're the minorities. They've always been the minorities. So the numbers with them have always been crucial. They've always been a serious factor for them.
Well, I mean, Asian origin people are a minority in the USA, but they're certainly not a minority in Asia. Not a minority in China or India. I mean, there's far more of them than there
Globally, it's
are
more
of.
color
There's
than
more
it is.
Indians. There's more Indians than there are people in Europe and the USA combined.
If you got color, though, it's more than likely to say you got African in you.
Hey, Silk.
Not necessarily. If
Hey,
you
Silk.
go to southern India and you take a
Let
look at
me
those
say
people,
this,
they're
brother
blacker
Chip.
than you are.
Brother Chip. Let me say this,
They're
brother
much
Chip.
blacker than you are, but they're not
Let me
Asian,
say
but
this
they're
real
not
quick. brother.
African.
Let me say this real quick, brother Chip. Hey, Sickady, take the professor out of your name real quick, and then you can and then let brother Chip keep teaching you. Take professor out of your name real quick, Sickady.
That's hilarious. When y'all know you got a bunch of what global general knowledge is me, then I'll take it down there. But y'all got a long way to go.
But you know everything you saying. You know everything you saying is unscientific, though, right?
I'm giving you some back. I can give you more on it. All you gotta do is tell me elaborate, and I give you some
Right.
more, whatever you want.
So you know race. So you know race is not scientific.
Not science. You talking about numbers? You saying numbers ain't science?
No, I'm talking about like black, white. That's not scientific.
I mean, more so new age. I mean, it's kind of. Is it not scientific? Why you think every you go to a job, they ask you what color you are? Like
Cause
that
that's
shit
a
don't count,
social construct. That's what human beings put on the shit.
right?
That's what your state
Race,
put on the shit. We
race
are
is a
all
sign.
we are all human beings. You feel me? We all human
Yeah,
beings.
you're right.
And what you
But it's
said,
classification.
so when you said that Asian is the cousin of a white person, we all human beings. You feel me? Asian is older than a white man though. Just clarity.
Even
Asian is older than the white man or the European.
even the Asian got black in them. Don't even the oldest Asians were black. But even the person that invented karate was black. The person that invented the whole martial arts, all that shit that they believe in was black. The first samurai was black. But because these new Asians kind of like the new Jews and whatnot,
Whitewashing shit.
they're pale and they're straight haired and whatnot. They're adopting them. The white people have no choice but to grab onto somebody. That's the closest ones to them that can rock with they shit and keep it somewhat kind of pure. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, like I said, once they start getting colored, once they all mix, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
But that's what people are doing anyway. I mean, Go to California. Go to the Bay Area.
You're
Take
right.
a
And
look. Just sit in a grocery store at the Bay Area and watch the people coming in and out.
they're
You
big
have
mixing, but it puts me
there is
way
an
back there.
absolute non-majority population there, no matter what you look at. If you go to San Francisco Bay Area, stand outside of any grocery store, watch who goes in, watch who goes out. There is no majority of any kind. They will you'll find a black walkout, an Indian walkout, a Hispanic walkout, an Asian walkout, a white walkout,
Hey, BC
and there's
Black,
simply no majority of anybody walking out of that grocery store. None.
like y'all got like Boston, okay? Y'all got like motherfucking whole goddamn buku amount of goddamn cities and states that are strictly fucking white. All right, we
Well,
got ghetto ass neighborhoods with a bunch of garbage in it. All right, from
Silk.
everybody's left over.
Hey, Silk. Give him at least a minute to respond. though. Give him a minute to respond, because you cut him off every 5 seconds. Give him a minute to respond
No,
to you.
man, go ahead.
well, I mean, the population composition in the USA is very different depending on where you go. If you go to where I am in Florida, 40% of the population here is Hispanic, and my wife is Colombian, mestizo. My wife is mestizo. There's probably close to 45% of the people here who speak Spanish. You have I think a pretty small black population, and then the rest are white. There's relatively few Asians, but the big population here is Hispanic and white.
Let me say something. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up Mexican Hispanic. Have you ever heard of a conquistador?
Yeah,
What is a conquistador?
conqueror.
Where does the term come from?
What's that?
Where does the term come from?
From Spanish.
Who? Okay, when they speak of conquistadors, what do they look like?
Well, I mean, they were Spanish.
They were what?
They would have been
Black?
a mix of white and black.
They would have been black. Because, I mean, black, the whole conquistador originated from the black Spaniards, the Spanish conquistadors, which created the whole mixed Spanish race. It comes from us. Okay?
Well, I mean, there were blacks in Northwest Africa. There were whites in Northwest Africa. There were obviously Europeans in Spain. So
The whites wasn't born there, though.
well, I mean, it was a Roman colony. So say from 200 BC until 400 AD, it was a Roman colony. So you had the native people who also received the Roman soldiers from Italy and Gaul. And Spain was one of the latter parts of the Roman Empire to be conquered.
When
So
you
you
speak of
have
Spain, you're still speaking kind of like a black. Like I said, when they talk about color, when you speak everybody of color, more than likely it's gonna have it in them. So, but once the people of non-color get color hit, it's over for the. That's over for their bloodline. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
Black.
what I mean, that's kind of a. I mean, we know that the world population is extremely mixed. It doesn't matter what you look like. What is actually under the hood, shall we say, could be very different.
Well, we know that by all the treachery we done experienced throughout the years, all the things we done seen over all these many a millennia. Things
You,
ain't been pretty. It ain't like it's black people starting all these world wars. Like, which I mean, it ain't none of us doing none of this stuff. We just going along for the ride. Unfortunately,
Well, most African countries had had very little to do with World War One or two. That's true. Yeah, they were those wars began in Europe, and Africa was affected more or less as part of the colonial empires.
They wanted
So
that
so there were
resources.
fights there were fights in Africa, but they weren't fights with Africans. They were fights, say, between the British and the Germans for possession of
Control
colonial empires such as Tanzania and Togo and Namibia. There were fights over those colonial pieces of colonial power that Germany had in the late 19th century, and then the British invaded those parts of Germany's colonial empire as part of the First World War and eventually took them over for itself.
I'm talking about. See, that's another thing. All the wars are waged by y'all.
Well, certainly Europeans, certainly the
By the
Europeans,
minority.
some of
Wars are
them did
waged
that.
by the minority. Like how do they pull this off? They ain't even the majority.
Silk,
They the minority.
Silk, Silk. How the hell you gonna say? How the hell you gonna say y'all and expect to have a genuine discussion?
What do you mean, you all? I didn't say you all.
I mean just whatever you know on Europeans. Like because when you said what was that you said? Genuine people, what's on the inside?
Brother
Well,
Chip.
no, I said, and
Hold on, brother
it's
Chip.
clear.
Hold on, brother
It's
Chip.
clear.
Hold on,
There's
brother Chip.
phenotype, which comes from appearance, phyneo, or
Hold on,
appearance, and
brother
then you
Chip.
have
Hold on, brother Chip.
genotype, which is origin. So you have the origin is one thing, and the appearance is another.
Hold
You're
on, brother
talking
Chip.
transparency.
Hold on, Silk. Hold on. Listen, Silk. Listen. You got so many goddamn European countries. You got so many goddamn African countries. You got so many goddamn Asian countries. You can't say y'all and expect to have a genuine discussion. So call them motherfuckers out. You want to say the goddamn pilgrims?
The Europeans, nigga. Yes, the pilgrims.
You know how many
Niggas.
European countries it is? You know how many European countries it is?
A few.
Well,
Brother Chip is from Ireland. He ain't do none of the shit you saying y'all for.
actually, I'm not from. Actually, my ancestry, some of it is from the British Isles, and some of it is from the Netherlands. Most of it is from the Netherlands.
Oh yeah, the Netherlands got freaky.
And the Netherlands did have a colonial empire of sorts. They had what's now Indonesia, and they had a couple islands in the Caribbean, and they had Suriname in South America.
I
But
got you, brother Chip. But this 500 years later, you wasn't a part of that shit, correct?
actually, my great grandfather went to Indonesia to manage a coffee plantation in 1892.
Do you still have that plantation right now, brother Chip?
I never had the plantation. Had nothing to do with the plantation. He was sent over there to be a manager. He went, somebody who owned the plantation sent the men to go to work to be a manager for him and to, I imagine, to watch over the money and make sure that whatever he was growing was coming to him. And he lasted there 10 years before malaria struck him. And when he got malaria, he had to leave the tropics and go to a better climate for him. And so, what that better climate turned out to be was where I ended up being born. My great grandfather left the coffee plantation and went to a girls' high school in Spokane, Washington. He became a German teacher at a girls' high school.
What
Because
do you know about the Irish slaves? I heard it was a whole lot of them, supposedly.
well, there were Irish indentured servants, but there weren't any Irish slaves. I mean, there
They were
were cases
slaves,
of
good
people
slaves.
who would sell their services for 7 years in
I
the
thought you
colonial
told me
times.
you was Irish, brother Chip.
No,
You
Dutch.
see how that shit is? You see how
You
that
said
shit
you was
is? Ain't that a bitch?
What you say, brother Chip?
Dutch.
Dutch.
But I heard some of them were treated just as bad
Fuck
for being
no.
Irish
Hell
or being,
no. They
yes,
didn't have
they
no
did.
fucking things on their
Brother
neck.
Chip,
They
you
wasn't
said Dutch.
getting whipped, getting their dick cut off, getting raped. Well, the
Brother
girls
Chip,
were, but the guys
Listen,
wasn't.
you said Dutch.
yes.
They was killing too though,
Okay.
but they're not. They have bad niggas.
All right. So, Silky D, what was the last question you asked?
I was telling him about because I mean, I know I heard a lot about the Irish slaves, but he called them servants. Could you
Oh,
explain the difference?
indentured servants, indentured.
Indentured service, as in like jail sentence, life solitude.
Well, no, as in
There's been
7 years of
housing.
service, and you go free after in the 7th year. That was the typical program.
And the seven, ooh, he know that. He know the motherfucking contract.
There's a
Yo
difference.
ass, okay, all right. Servants. Okay, wow, that's crazy.
Indentured. I mean, the two words are there's two words, and they're both important.
Because they wasn't shackled or nothing. They wasn't chained up or none of that shit.
Well, they weren't free to leave
So,
before the time, so it's like half a slave. You could call them half a slave because they're going to serve against their will
welcome,
in a
lady.
way, but for a limited time. They're not chattel. They're not permanently enslaved.
Oh, they ain't lifetime. Yeah, you're right about
Hey,
that. They
hey,
ain't got
hey,
that
Chip.
lifetime deal.
Hey, Chip. Uncle Chip stay half a slave. Hey, what that feel like?
That's platinum, nigga.
That's platinum,
That's,
nigga. Nigga,
that's platinum.
that's like your parole, nigga. That's
But that sort of went away
Bad.
over time. I mean, that indentured servant stuff was like an 18th century phenomenon. But in the 19th century, when they started coming over massively to the USA, they came over as free people. Of course, every immigrant that came over was not treated very well. I mean, you had people who put up signs like in bars which read "No dogs or Irishmen allowed." So I mean, that's not a great compliment, of course. And
Oh,
but over
Saturday.
time they became the political power. For example, in Boston, where they were earlier indentured servants, and where they were uh, discriminated against, with the
smoking up
no dogs or Irishmen.
making all that alcohol.
Well, prohibition did help them a lot. Joseph Kennedy uh, made the money that put his son John F. Kennedy in the White House through attachments with the mafia, people like Al Capone and others. Joseph
Red
Kennedy
heat.
made a lot of money in bootlegging.
You're right about that. He say half a slave, and they
Hey,
had to do a certain.
so Silky D, did you know Silky D when you brought up that question right there? Did you know that you was talking about in America, right? Coming to America.
No, there was the Irishmen all over. Like I've heard, I studied like when you study and you study slavery. Like I've seen a lot of shit, and they throw out Irishmen as like going through slavery, like the Irish slaves. They'd be like, "Well, what about the Irish slaves?" And they'd be like, "The Irish slaves." They'd be like, "Yeah, the Irish slaves. We built this and we built that and we did all this was built with Irish hands and all that good jazz." They like to say.
But
Is it
they
like
probably talking about like Brother Chip said, Northeast America.
But they became powers over there. I mean, they started out discriminated against. They came poor. They were discriminated against. They worked together. They built themselves up. They started businesses. They took advantage of the opportunities they had, and if you look at the political power structure in Massachusetts now, the Irish are very strong there. The Italians are very strong there.
And when I think
So
yeah,
they built
hey,
themselves up.
hey Silk, when I think of Boston, Maine, New England, them all sound like Irish. You know what I'm saying? Settling town.
that's their shit, dog. I mean, of course they was gonna let them get down sooner or later. They had bigger fish to fry.
but I threw us off topic because Brother Chip is not Irish. Brother Chip is Dutch.
Yeah. That's it. I'm just saying. I was just seeing what he knew.
I
That
think Miss J was trying to say something like right before we start going in on this. Good. Rambo Yappa Chopper. Bo in the mix. Bo just ate. All right, Brother Chip, I got a question for you, man. Okay, so what happened? What happened in What happened in We got a talking code, Silky D and Brother Chip. So on all of y'all words, add a P or add a S, a extra Z, or instead of using the S, say a Z. Instead of using the first letter, say a P, and then the rest of the word. Instead of using the first word, put a P for the first letter, then say the rest of the word. Instead of saying the S, say a Z. So, and what's going on in with Pisreal and Palestine, Zagans. What's going on over there? I'm getting intel information that that the IBF, what is it called, Brother Chip? The IGF?
The Israeli Defense Forces.
IDF?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting inside information that the IDF was behind the October 7th attack.
I would say no. I would say no, because they would not kidnap 250 of their own people. They would not be killing their own kids. They would not be attacking their own kibbutz. And they wouldn't shoot up a music festival of dancing hippies just for shits and giggles.
All right, so I'm gonna send you two links. These from victims that basically saying the people that bomb rushed them on or around that day was actually soldiers working for Israel.
I don't think so. First of all, what is the benefit? You
Taking
have
over
to ask,
God's land,
what's
getting
that?
God's land, pushing their border back.
There was no reason for it. First of all, they had in 2005 completely withdrawn from Gaza. They pulled up their settlements. They actually spent quite a bit of money. They had some settlements in Gaza, and they liquidated them and
We gotta
removed the
talk in
people.
code, Brother Chip. We gotta talk in code, Brother Chip. It's Gasser. Gasser.
We don't have to talk code.
Brother Chip, I'm telling you, it's dangerous out here, Brother Chip. We gotta say Gasser.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm not going to bowlerize the language. There's no reason to. This is. Everybody talks about this.
Brother Chip, you know how dangerous, you know how America has become like China when it comes to censorship, Brother Chip. You know how it go down if you post something crazy on Facebook. They'll
No,
put your ass in jail.
I mean, all I can tell you is, there's no earthly benefit that Israel would have to attack itself, kill 1,200 of its own citizens, for what? They had nothing to gain. They had nothing whatsoever to gain. They already have what they wanted as much as possible. They have a country. They're trying to live peacefully. They want defensible borders. They more or less have that now. They've given the Palestinians pretty much pretty much autonomy in, as far as the land goes, and that was something that Israel talked about doing in Begin's time in 1977. He said, "We want to create an autonomous Palestine, not an independent one," and that's more or less what they've done now.
Okay. Okay.
The
Last
West
question.
Bank is autonomous, and then Gaza was autonomous.
Okay.
So they'd
This
already
my
done
last.
that.
This my last question, brother Chip. My last question for you, because we gonna get to that topic on the next live, because I'm gonna have
All
to
right.
pull my sources out on you. Did you read the Obama sin gotten letter?
The Obama Singotten letter. Well, I saw a video of a former Obama advisor who was harassing the
Oh,
hell out of
I'm
the.
sorry, brother Chip. I'm sorry, brother Chip. Os, Osana Win Yatten letter. Did you read that?
Well, there was there was different articles at the time talking about Osama bin Laden as sort of a freedom fighter for Afghanistan. Back in the day, there was that. There was there was a certain degree of sympathy for Osama bin Laden and quite a lot for some of the people in Afghanistan when they were attacked by the Soviet Union when they tried to make them communists. And there was sort of a general consensus that in the Reagan White House, in the Reagan and the Bush White Houses at the time, that should be something that the Afghans were going to resist it, and they should be helped. Did you? I'm trying to think of there was a movie out a few years ago. Something's war.
So are you saying that Osama bin Laden is a liar?
Am I saying that Osama bin Laden is alive?
A liar?
A liar? Well, I mean, not necessarily. What are you referring to?
His letter.
Well, let me go refresh my memory. What's the
Nah,
date?
brother Chip, you ain't got to refresh your memory, brother Chip. I tell you the story. I ain't trying to hide nothing from you, brother Chip. I'll let you know.
Tell
Basically,
me
brother
some.
Chip. Basically, brother Chip, he was sending a a, a declaration to America, to us, telling us y'all just got through blowing up one of our permanent situations. Now, I need y'all to surrender to Allah before we come down there and turn up. And they said this was right after we had went down there and bombed something, oil, gas, that it had nothing to do with no war. He sent a letter to us telling us to convert to Islam, and he coming to take over America in a peaceful way because we converting to Islam. But if we play with his gangster, he gonna do like what he did on 119, what he eventually did on 119. That was the letter that he sent to us. I want
Well,
to say
that actually makes perfect sense from an Islamic perspective. That's part of what you're supposed to do in what they call jihad al-talib, which is offensive jihad. The person who is considered the emir or prince, in order to do offensive jihad, offensive struggle, has to invite the person that they are struggling against to Islam. And so, and typically in this sort of a deal, they invite you to Islam. And if you refuse to accept Islam, they invite you to jizya. Jizya means submission financially.
You're
that you
right.
will
You're right,
pay
brother Chip. You're right,
that you
brother
will
Chip.
pay a certain percentage.
I pulled out the article on that. You're right, brother Chip. That's exactly what the Muslims do when they come into when they was expanding the Arab Empire. Now, um, Osama bin Laden actually had receipts for when America got out of line first.
Well, I mean, from his perspective, there's any number of things that the U.S. could have done that he didn't like. What I heard is that he didn't like that he was very much against in the first Gulf War that his king should ask the United States for military assistance to defend Saudi, because it says in the Quran, do not make the Jews and Christians your aliyah, which is a combination of friends or allies. So it says you do not make Jews or Christians your aliyah, your friends and allies, because the Jews and Christians are allies only of each other. And so, from that point of view, as a traditional Muslim, Osama bin Laden opposed his king for inviting in the U.S. troops to defend him in the first Gulf War against Saddam Hussein.
You said that's in the Quran, brother Chip.
Yes.
Oh, whoa! I need that verse, man, for brother Jesse, man. I'm gonna get him with that verse. I need that verse. Hamdu.
He
I need
said
that.
he said Jews and the what or what the China? What is it? What he said?
The Jews and Christians are not your allies. They ain't your partners.
Right. Yeah, you gotta
They
get
not
that
your
one.
partners.
Yeah, we need that one. What that's at?
That's a mean verse.
Hold on, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, we need that one. Pull that one up.
Hey Jesse, we see why you be so goddamn aggressive when you talking to Bible believers and regular people. You can't be friends with none of us because the Quran said.
Hmm.
Hit the link, Jesse. You got the damn link. Hit the link. All right, brother Chip.
Okay, Quran 551 is one.
Quran 551. Let me go and send this to 551, man. Tighten up on your game, man. Yo Allah is religionist. But what was that last question that I had asked? Oh yeah, about the you said that story that emphasis that I had gave on the letter sounded correct because that's what Muslims
Yeah.
are to do when they're taking over, right? But Chip,
Yes, that's a requirement. The verse reads like this: O believers, do not take Jews and Christians as friends; they are friends of each other. Whoever of you
what
makes
verse is
them,
that?
Quran Surah 551. Whoso of you makes them his friends is one of them. God guides not the people of the evildoers.
So God is trying to separate you from other religions.
God is separating the Muslims from other religions, yes.
Well, not God, but Allah.
Yeah, well, I mean, for them, Allah is God. That's how they understand it.
All right, so not to jump off in the on the religious tip. Do you feel like Osama bin Laden was let me rephrase my question. Do you feel like Osama bin Laden should have just let America take the oil and gas, or you feel like he should have fought for his country?
He offered to raise an army of Afghans to go and fight in Saudi. Oh, here's another verse. There's Quran 3:28. Let not believers take disbelievers as allies rather than believers, and whoever of you does that has nothing with Allah, except when taking precaution against them in
That's me.
prudence.
That's me. That's me right there. It say, do not be friends with unbelievers. That's me.
Right.
That's why my nigga be so goddamn aggressive on this motherfucker trying to convert me. Hey Jesse, man, we gotta get you on this next show, man, because I know your ass sleep right now. But all right, brother Chip, let's get you back on the big screen. Now you saying that. Now you saying that. You said he raised the army. You said he was trying to raise the army of Afghans. What you were saying?
Yes.
To go against us?
To go against Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, that's Osama was gonna go against Saddam.
Osama was going to go against Saddam. Yeah. Let's see. How do I get back to? I'm trying to get back to the chat.
Oh, it's in your web browser.
Yeah.
I ain't hear about that part. You heard that, Sicky D?
What?
He says Saddam was beefing with Osama.
Oh yeah, they all be beefing out there. It's just
They
the
was beefing with
triangle,
each other.
huh?
They was beefing with each other.
It's believable, yeah. They be having their little gangs and whatnot. They little Taliban gangs. They all got them out there. Not even the Taliban gangs. You got the African one. Like they all, yeah, they do be doing their share of beefing and fighting out there. They
Free
been
band.
religious
Free
fighting for the
band.
longest.
Free band gang.
Well, we're getting in, man. A whole lot of slaughter. It's just a whole lot of bloodshed.
I was having trouble. I was having trouble getting back in visually. I sent the other verse. There's other verses that you can look up. It's not just in one verse. There's several verses in the Quran that talk about this. And the thing is that you can pretend. The interesting thing about it in the Quran is that you can pretend to be a Muslim can pretend to be your friend. He just can't mean it. If he's being a true blue Muslim, he can't really be your friend because he can pretend to be your friend if he's afraid of you. If he thinks you're going to fuck him up, he can pretend to be your friend to get out of getting fucked up. But he can't make you a real friend.
What about the conversion process? Does that got a time limit on it?
Well,
They
no,
could be your friend.
he can pronounce dawah to you. Sure, I mean that's part of. They're allowed to do that. He can tell you all about dawah, but he can't be a legitimate straight up friend because the Quran forbids him to do that. Which is another thing, as you probably know, a Muslim can marry a Christian or a Jew, but they can't marry an atheist or a polytheist or a Buddhist or a Hindu or somebody from another religion, whether male or female. And a Muslim woman cannot marry anyone except another Muslim. But a Muslim man can marry a Christian or a Jew, a Jewish woman, because women are second-class citizens in Islam. I mean, the man is the one whose religion they follow. The man is the one who leads in the house, the Quran says men have charge over women because they pay for their maintenance. So because the man pays, he's in charge. And so what he says goes. And then that verse goes on to say, and if you fear disobedience, then admonish them, confine them to beds, or beat them. So that's and that's also in the Quran.
Yeah, that Quran out of date and spooked out.
Well, that's 7th century, and of course there was a lot of wife beating all through history. I mean, the rights of women have kind of come and gone over many, many centuries. Some of the earliest civilizations might have been the most egalitarian. For example, I went to the island of Crete, and I visited the Knossos Palace, and it seems that maybe the men and women on Crete 4,000 years ago were very similar, very egalitarian. There wasn't a lot of war, and the women seemed to have very high status. And you had equal space for the queen and the king in the Knossos Palace. There's a lot we don't know because there's not a lot of written documents on that, but there's a lot of images that we have, and the architecture is still there. So I think that might be the oldest civilization I've actually ever personally visited.
Have you ever been to I was gonna say kind of like Egypt, but have you ever been to Egypt?
Haven't been to Egypt. That's why I said the island of Crete and the Knossos Palace is probably the oldest civilization I have ever personally visited, and that's about 5,000 years old.
Got you. So let me ask you this question. Do you know a lot about evolution and early Homo sapiens?
Not a tremendous amount. I mean, I've read a few articles.
Okay, so so when we talk about the um the North African, the Egyptian, do you feel like the ancient Egyptians are the modern day Egyptians?
Not entirely, no.
Can you explain that?
Well, you have, I mean, you've had a tremendous amount of people groups moving in and out of Egypt over, for the last 4,000 years. And you had a series of empires that had control over Egypt and that moved people in and out when they had control. So, the ancient Egypts of, say, 4,000 years ago were fairly homogenous. They controlled the river Nile from the mouth of the Nile until somewhere in Sudan. I think they had some control, and they controlled that for a long time. But then they were conquered. They fell apart for a little while, and then they were invaded from the sea by a couple different waves of invaders. Some Semitic invaders called the Hyksos. And then they also were invaded by what people believe are the Philistines, who tried to invade Egypt and were pushed out, and they went to what's now Gaza. And they made their cities in Gaza and Ashdod. They had a 5-city confederation on what's now the Israeli coast and Gazan coast. So that's where they were. So you have the Philistines, you have the Hyksos, who are Semitic, then you had the Greeks in the 3rd century. Actually before that, you had the Assyrians for a short time who came in the 600s, and you had the Greeks in the 300s, and you had the Romans in the 100s, and then you had the Arabs in the 7th century that came through there. And so if you say are the Egyptians what they were? No, there've been many waves.
Hey, brother Chip, I love that answer. I love how you gave me chronological bullets that I could bust a goddamn uh uh a whole debate up with. So I appreciate that. About to close up the shop. About to watch some of this NBA game. My goddamn Rockets probably getting beat right now. They playing Denver. Denver is favored by 9 points. So hopefully we could keep it close to that
What's
7-8.
so what's their record right now?
I can look it up real quick. We're doing pretty good. I want to say like 10-7. Let me see.
So a little over 500, but it's early season.
Oh my bad. We 8-8.
Okay, so you're right so it's right at 500. If they keep that up, they're probably not going to get very far in the playoffs. They might get in if they put a real burst of speed on. They could get in, but they'll probably be bounced out in the first round unless they start to improve.
Most definitely.
So who are they? Who are they in with? Who's ahead of them right now?
You got the Lakers, you got the Nuggets, you got the Warriors, Sacramento Kings playing pretty good right now. That's pretty much it. So, but Dallas Mavericks playing pretty good. It's a good 8 teams, probably better than the thing that's going on. They got a new head coach, and then it's a really young squad. And this new head coach came from the Celtics. He the one that got caught in that scandal, Nia Long boyfriend. So he's in Houston right now, and he brought like 4 players from free agency that we got on some good contracts, and they playing with some fire in their booty.
Well, that's great. That's a lot of fun. The only time I went to an NBA game was before Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade started winning for them in Miami.
Oh man,
and they were absolute dog shit that year. I think they won like 6 or 7 games in the whole season. The year just before they got Dwayne Wade and Shaq, and they started pouring it on.
Chip,
But I did
Chip,
go to one game. Hi,
I got a question.
go ahead.
When do white people come onto the timeline?
Oh, that's really hard. I mean, it's an impossible question.
That's an impossible one. What's the earliest historical, like, you know what I'm saying? Which I got?
Siggy D, man, it's too late. You trying to choose violence? It's too late for all of that.
But I
Uh,
will tell I
next
will tell you
time. That's
I
next
will tell you
time.
this, and I have no way of knowing what color they are.
What about the
But there
Caucasus Mountains?
but there is evidence that there have been skeletons of the same sort that were found in the Kenyan Gorge, which were also found in Germany. And there's a German paleontologist named Gunther Blechley who found similar humanoid forms in Germany at the same age time as the leaky discoveries in Kenya. So, but now saying that, there's no way to say what color those people were. There's absolutely no way to determine that.
How
All
you
right,
figure that?
we about to close up shop, Siggy D. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you a chance to maybe
no,
brother Chip.
next time.
Hold up, Silk. Maybe brother Chip got a question for you. We about to close up,
No,
brother Chip.
there's no question. I was asking about Houston. I've been concentrating on the pros very much. I've been watching Gonzaga basketball from in college, and they lost to number 1 Purdue, and their 7'5" center. You should, if you get a chance, take a look at what that guy looks like when you. He is so enormous that a normal sized basketball player looks like a second grader. It's incredible. Plus, he's amazingly skilled. He shoots something like 75, 80% from the line, which from a lot of great centers have just been piss poor free throw shooters. And this guy could.
Is he from overseas?
No, well, he's from Canada. He's a mixed race guy. He's a mixed race guy. I'm not sure what, but he was born in Toronto. He went to prep school in Miami, and he's playing basketball for Purdue, and Purdue is the #1 ranked university team. I watched them play Gonzaga. Gonzaga tried, but they lost by 10 to. But this guy is so tall and so big that say a normal forward walks alongside of him, and he looks like a second grader.
Man, I gotta check him out now. I gotta check him out.
Yeah, you check him out. Check out a Purdue game. This guy looks like Hercules.
Overstood. Hey, brother Chip, man, appreciate you rocking with me, man. 2 whole hours, man. Thank you for your time.
Nice to see you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, brother Chip. All right, man, we out of here.